Hi guys, and welcome back to Slice of Mike. So today I'm doing the coffee book tag, which was created by Bangity Bangs, and I was tagged by Tara over at Literally Tara, and I will link both of their videos in the description box below. The first question is, black coffee. Name a series that's tough to get into but has hardcore fans. You're not gonna like this answer. I'm picking Throne of Glass because this book just didn't make any sense to me in terms of its popularity. At first I thought I was the only person who didn't enjoy the series, but then I got a lot of comments on my April wrap-up from people who also didn't understand the appeal of the series, and that's okay. You can like this series if you want. I do not like it very much, but I'm at least going to give the second book a try, as I've said already, so don't fear, I haven't given up. Question number 2. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter or a festive time of the year. So I looked through my entire library and I couldn't find a single wintry themed book, which is why I'm going to talk about a Halloween themed book. And that book is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. I actually read this book in, I think, December, so for me it's kind of a wintry book, but it's probably more appropriate for like the Halloween fall season. So I think when it gets cooler this year, I'm going to reread it like in October or November, because it's a great book and I want to read it again. The next question is Hot Chocolate named your favorite kids book, and I don't really have a favorite kids book, but I did recently pick up this book, which is called Home by Carson Ellis, and she illustrated the Wildwood series, in case you were wondering, which her husband actually wrote, so she's fairly well known in illustrative circles, I guess? This book is all about different homes, some of them strange, some of them realistic. This one is on the moon, so obviously that one's not realistic. The illustrations are beautiful, which is why I wanted to pick this up, and I actually went to a signing that she did at my local bookstore, and I got it signed by her, and this is my first signed book ever, so I'm pretty pumped about it. The next question is, double shot of espresso, not that I need one right now. Name a book that kept you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. I don't read a ton of thrillers, but I did have to at least include this one, which is The City and the City by China Miéville, who is my favorite author ever. Just look at him. Look at him. It's been a while since I've read this one, so the plot details are a little vague, but it's kind of sci-fi, kind of fantasy. There is a murder mystery that takes place in one city, and this guy from another city has to investigate the murder. However, the two cities overlap both in time and space, and the people from one city are forbidden to interact with people from the other city. So they're kind of like walking around the same city, and they have to unsee and unhear conversations they're not supposed to hear because they take place in the different city. I gave this book like 2 stars on Goodreads because I read it like 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't think I was fully able to appreciate it. It was very confusing for me as a youngin', so I definitely want to reread this at some point, but I'm also not recommending it because I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, so what does that say about the book? I don't know. Question number 5 is Starbucks. Name a book that you see everywhere, and I chose An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir for obvious reasons. I don't know much about it, but it is supposed to be really good, and I'm excited to finish it and see how everything ends up. The next question is hipster coffee shop, and let me just say, ain't nothing wrong with a hipster coffee shop because they usually serve the best coffee. This question is designed to talk about an indie author or an indie book that you've read, and I chose Rob Rogers' Devil's Cape. I don't know if this is an indie book, but it's the closest thing that I have in my library at the moment, and this is about a group of superheroes who come together after they mysteriously gain powers in a kind of New Orleans type city, and there's also a group of villains who get powers after a superhero explodes in front of them and his powers absorb themselves into their bodies. It's really confusing and it's actually kind of twisted, but I enjoyed this, and there's a huge surprise ending which was really enjoyable. I think this is the only book the author's ever written, which is sad because it was a great book, and I recommend this if you like superhero books. Question number 7 is oops, I accidentally got decaf. Name a book you were expecting more from. I don't want to say anything more about this because I'm sure I'll piss people off, so I'm not going to. And the final question is the perfect blend. Name a book or series that was both bitter and sweet, but ultimately satisfying. This question was kind of revealing for me because I looked through my bookshelves and I don't have a whole lot of series that I've actually finished, but I did finish this series called the Bartimaeus Trilogy by Jonathan Stroud, and this is about magicians who are able to summon demons and otherworldly entities to do magical errands and things for them. This series is kind of like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell for kids. It's a very fun, interesting, exciting series with lots of humor. The main demon character, his name is Bartimaeus, has funny asides and footnotes, and he's just kind of a sassy, supernatural being, which is a perfect creation, in my opinion. So that is it for all the questions. I'm going to tag Keely over at A Bibliophile's Journey, Elena at Elena Reads Books, and Rihanna at Little Library to do this tag with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all back here in a few days.